What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology Retold action. Spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Hades, whose name is Eric. Currently under the name Nomad. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Isis. His name is Vortix. The map, Oasis. And ladies and gentlemen, do we have a special game for you? I keep doing that. You put my hand down on the table and I accidentally hit escape. Anyways, yes, map is Oasis. And this is a fun one. I really, really like this matchup. Isis versus Hades. You've got all of the firepower from Isis. And you've got all of the offensive power from Hades here. To try and kind of have this really big sort of push and defend and push back and try and work it out for the entirety of the game. Both civilizations or both gods in this matchup have got really, really good chances of finding a victory in very, very different ways. Now, lots and lots of crazy ideas here in this matchup as well. For example, Hades has got Ares here. Ares is arguably a huge counter to pretty much any of the big cheese that Isis has got. Do you want to know why? Pestilence will block the Migdol fire. Cyclops will take Migdols out very, very easily. And if your opponent wants to go for some sort of fast mythic idea, generally what they're doing here as Isis is they go Heroic Age, Ancestors Eclipse, Migdol to the next stage, and you can just walk in while they go into that Mythic Age and start the Gold Star. So yeah, you're going to get meteored. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of stuff in your main base, but you're going to get that revenge fire with your army. It's basically guaranteed if your opponent's going to go for a fast mythic of some sort. But we are seeing Athena coming through for our Hades player. What's the hotkey to swap this thing? Hang on, let me have a quick look. Does anyone know? What's the hotkey to swap it? Someone's been telling me there is a hotkey. Flip teams, Alt-T. Hey! We have the technology. We have the technology. Let's go. Alt-T. Now, see, now we got the blue player on the right and we got the red player on the left. How awesome is that? All right. So, we'll see what's going to happen here. We do see no advance time just yet from Vortix. And in all honesty, I don't really see there being a gigantic rush for an Isis player to get to the next stage. We see some houses coming up on this side here. You can put a wall up over here. And then this very, very fast advance here from Eric, very, very fast indeed, is not going to be able to do all too much. Let's actually see what Eric is going for here. He doesn't have himself an Achilles coming out. It looks like he's going straight for a town center, in all honesty. Is there an Ajax coming around the side? He's just picking up relics. He's getting his anvil for fast. God, this relic is so insanely strong. Minus 50% gold on your armory upgrades. Are you kidding me? And then you can also get Forge of Olympus. It's absolutely bonkers. Nonetheless, Vortix gets his houses up. He has completely defended himself. He's going up through Bast. He's only got the one monument up thus far. Did he get himself Flood of the Nile yet? He has himself Flood of the Nile as well, so that's going to be a big, big boost. Jumping onto the chickens over here. I'm a bit surprised to see him not go for the berries. Berries do gather slower than chickens, herdables, and hunt. So this is kind of the last thing you want to jump onto. But maybe he's thinking this is a little bit out in the open and this is a little bit more safe. I don't know. Nonetheless, do we see that town center? Yes, we do. Town center at the top. Hunt behind the town center. Very, very nice. But there's no gold mines nearby, as is the case in many Age of Mythology missions. Sorry, I like the campaigns. Anyways, the town center here secures this, which just means Eric can really, really get a very, very nice classical age going. But the problem is he's going to get hit with Ancestors Eclipse, and he needs to be ready for it. We see a market coming up. We see an armory coming up afterwards as well. So as the Minotaur going to be coming through. Vortix, there's no reaction there. He just says, okay, cool, no worries. I like that idea there from Eric. Just walk in, headbutt, walk out. Another idea is actually just hit the villagers twice and then headbutt, because you have a little bit of range on the headbutt where you don't on the auto attack. So if you hit them twice and then headbutt, you're going to get a villager kill. As we do see Prosperity coming in. Minotaur can rush through there and try and get onto that mining camp. Vortix has just idled his Pharaoh there, so that should auto fire onto the Minotaur, as the Minotaur going to be getting taken out very, very quickly. Doesn't get any kills. That was actually really, really smart from Vortix. I'm surprised he wasn't empowering and just did that manually, but nonetheless, he gets the Minotaur kill. Goat's going to be heading back in. If we take a quick look at Vortix's position here. Oh, Sphinx going straight after villagers over here. There does not seem to be an Achilles out just yet. Is there anyone getting trained up? No, not at the moment. Villagers, this is a lot of idle time here for Eric. As the villagers getting pushed back, he will be turning around and starting to shank this one. That's going to be some dead villagers there. Vortix, great awareness there to spot that low HP villager. The Sphinx is now down to half HP. Achilles is queued up. He also needs that Ajax back in his base to be dealing with any sort of Ancestors Eclipse onto the economy here, as the Sphinx comes through yet again, continuing to get big amounts of damage done. Ancestors getting dropped down. No, oh, there's the Eclipse as well. As all the villagers will be retreating back into the main base. Achilles is out. We'll be able to start dealing with those minions very, very quickly. But Vortix is probably just going to be retreating away from this spot. He sees some minions and the Sphinx coming into the main base. But Ajax is already through here and will start shanking, or jabbing, I should say, away at that Sphinx. Vortix not paying attention. We see an armory, we see a house. Villagers retreating back home. It's still a large amount of idle time and villager kills here for Vortix, as Eric, he is going to now have to deal with Amygdala Stronghold getting thrown down in his face over here. As that armory on the way as well. Ajax is going to be moving forward as the minions starting to get targeted down here. Scorpion Man sitting in the middle. Priests coming up as well. Villagers onto the gold mine. And where to next? Where to next here for Eric? He doesn't have a single military building up at the moment. 0 military buildings. He's like, you know what? There's nothing coming for me. There's no way for Eric to take any damage, so he's not going to build any military. Incorrect. Siege works on the top. Vortix is not rushing the Mythic Age. He is going for a Heroic Age push here, as he knows he can get huge amounts of damage done. We see a stable getting dropped. This is so absurdly late for Eric. I'm not sure where all of the resources have been spent at the moment. Wait, does he have all of his upgrades or something? He's got himself pickaxe, but that's about it. As the chariot archers are going to be able to start targeting down Achilles here. Villager on this spot here can get sniped down as well. In fact, it does, as the stable will end up getting finished up there. But look at the spam coming out now for Vortix. He's got chariot archers coming out, Pharaoh empowering that Migdol for the bonus or the reduction in train speed by a significant amount there. We can really get those units out. Once you get a whole bunch out, you can pull it off, and they maybe even throw down another Migdol stronghold, like right in on the front here, as the siege tower going to be wandering forward. It's going to be tanking up that sentinel. And Eric is in a very, very challenging position right now, as the Achilles and Ajax come through. Stable on this position here, going to get taken down, as well as Eric. He loses more villages. Vortix is so good with this micro. He's always finding weaknesses with those chariot archers and any sort of ranged unit to take out your stuff here. And honestly, at this moment here, the best move, and he should have done it already, like a while ago, would have been sack this town center, keep all his villagers alive, retreat back to the main base, and then mass up an army, because he has the villager lead by 10 villagers. That's a significant amount of resources, but if his villagers are just sitting idle in this town center here, it's really, really difficult to keep going. As we see another table coming up, Restoration getting thrown down here as the villagers attempting to shank down those siege towers. But look at the heal rate coming through from those priests in an attempt to keep those siege towers alive, as the Ajax will manage to take down the Scorpion Men. Chariot Archers attempting to retreat back. Good amount of damage coming through here for Eric as he does manage to keep his town center alive for just a little bit longer here. Lots and lots of Hippias getting queued up into those stables, and you can see Eric's economy is great. He just needs military buildings down, and Vortix, this isn't a macro problem here for Eric at the moment. This is simply just a strategy problem. He didn't have those military buildings down in time, and the siege towers just had free reign on them, taking them out on the front. Had Eric just put them up in his main base, he'd probably actually be in a better position right now. But Chariot Archers still coming through. I want to see Vortix moving away from those Chariot Archers now and making Camel Riders. He needs a front line for those Chariot Archers. Still sniping villagers beautifully there. Great play. Does Vortix have himself ballistics? No ballistics just yet, but he is now getting himself copper weapons to boot. Medium Hippias is now through for Eric, and Eric is going to be getting himself copper shield. So both players finding the correct upgrades to go for, but villagers are just getting sniped down so absurdly well. Somehow, some way, Vortix is keeping the villager count close here in this game, even though he's only one town center, and that is a gigantic advantage for Vortix here. But Eric is making the counter unit. He's got the right units here to make a big push happen. Unfortunately, he does not have himself that restoration anymore as he needs it basically to really push in and get any sort of advantage here. One other thing I'm absolutely loving here from Vortix is this obelisk on the front. Take a look at that vision. He's going to see the Hippias coming through with extra awareness or whatever on that coming through a little bit earlier than otherwise. But even with the Vortix micro here, those Hippias will be able to come in. They will be able to get some huge damage done. The Migdol Stronghold, oh, it's not great micro. That's just the Hippias kind of doing dodgy tactics here. But yeah, the Migdol Stronghold does help out in a big way here, but not really against those Hippias as they do come through, snipe down the Pharaoh. The Hippias are still charging in, still getting a good amount of damage done onto those chariots, but Vortix is getting himself the max amount of value from them. However, because he hasn't made any Camel Riders, he's got no front line. And Eric can just continue to charge through here, sniping all of those down. And then we'll see Eric moving back up onto this position to try and take out that Migdol over there as well. But we'll see. Will Vortix, now he's starting to make those Camel Riders. How many, does he have farms up? No, he's on goats as well. Just take all the villagers off of wood, put them all onto food. This is something you kind of have to do throughout a game, is reorganize your macro, reorganize your economy to support yourself based on what your opponent is doing. There's no harm in saying midway through a game, oh damn, I wanted to make Chariot Archers, but my opponent's making a counter unit. Bugger, I just have to leave 23 villagers on wood. No, you can take those off and just throw them over onto food and gold midway through a game and just make a complete swap. And that's a really, really great way to counter your opponent. Sure, there's a little bit of walking time involved in doing it, so you do lose out on a few resources there, but nonetheless, it's still the correct way to go for it, as Eric here still trying to great micro there from Eric, as he's going to be sniping those Chariot Archers down nicely. Camel Riders coming through here as well. We see a Scorpion Man moving in onto this position to get a little bit of damage done onto those Hippias, as there needs to be Achilles out here. You've always, and now there he comes through. You've always got to be having that one out. I would love to see a little bit of myth unit shenanigans coming through here for Eric as well. If we take a look here, he's got a lot of villagers on favor. He's got 68 villagers on favor. And look now, those units here for Vortix, they see a gold mine, and they're going to be putting some pressure on that. Force the army of Eric to get over here and deal with this. Eric has not reacted to these Camel Riders, and I do not believe he's got a single barracks up at the moment. So he's going to be in for a very, very challenging time now dealing with this army as the Hippias charging through. Lots and lots of dead villagers here. As not only does Vortix pick those off, but he's also going to be able to win this fight right now. Eric is getting gold starved, and this has been the plan all along here for Vortix. It's contain, 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 and even though Eric has had one very, very good fight here, he's still behind on military resource value. Second restoration getting dropped down in an attempt to keep that Achilles alive, but the Camel Riders chase that one down, and those Scorpion Men are just going to go to town on those Hippias here. Vortix, he doesn't even mind that the town center is getting in on the action for the time being, as the entirety of Eric's army is going to be getting taken out. We've seen Ajax coming through, but too little, too late. All of the Hippias have been cleaned up, and now no gold for Eric. He does have Vaults of Erebus, I'm pretty sure. No, he doesn't even have Vaults of Erebus. So Eric is in for a very challenging time moving forward. Siege Tower gets taken down. Villagers get taken down. Camel Riders going after those units as best as they can. Ajax over here will be able to snipe one down as Vortix was not paying attention there, but he doesn't care at the moment that he's sitting underneath this town center. Look at the villager differential, losing a couple of units to tower fire, to town center fire here, while forcing all of these farms idle. That's huge. You can see Eric has got 1,000 food in the bank, 700 wood in the bank. He can sell resources for a little bit, but there's nothing else he can really do. He's sneaking a gold mine up the top. I like the idea here. This is always the way for Hades. If you ever get gold stubs, sneak a gold mine. You might get away with it, but a Scorpion Man is going to be already coming through onto this position, putting a stop to that one immediately, as the villagers do have to retreat back, but he's going to lose the vast majority of those as well. And Eric, he is just so far behind in this game. Like, the score right now says it's kind of close, but it's not. Eric here is behind by over 2,000 resources in military value. He's behind in 20 villages, and that means around about 1,200 resources down the drain as the game goes on every single minute. Or not down the drain, but just in the hole, I should say. And Vortix is probably the simplest solution right now for Vortix at this point is probably just to click up to the next age. But the more fun solution, and it also works, is get a whole bunch of siege towers out, take the town center out, kill all the villagers. He can't defend against this. Or if he wants to, he's just going to lose even more villagers. Leave those camel riders. Oh, I love the siege towers moving forward there to protect this, protect against any sort of villagers shanking there as well. And there, Eric does need to tap out. Great game here from Vortix. There's two mistakes here from Eric's standpoint. First mistake is, if you know your opponent's going for a one town center attack, there is never a problem with just sacking the second town center. Cutting your losses, leave the position with all your villagers and just say, great, kill my town center. I'm going to take my 10, 15, 20 villager lead, and I'm going to play one town center from now on. There is literally nothing wrong with that. You've already paid the town center off by the time it's gone down, and you just need to keep the villagers alive and working. It's a really, really great way to counter one town center all-ins, which seem to be all the rage right now. So for players out there who are like, how do I play a macro game when my opponent is going for these sort of cheeses? Not even cheeses, just one town center attacking aggressive play. Sack that second town center, pull back into your main base, get your watchtower upgrades, throw down your buildings where your opponent isn't attacking, mass up an army, find the win. Very, very great way to play. But yeah, Eric just really wanted to hold this one. He almost did, to be completely honest. He almost did. He killed the army off. He pushed the army back. For a second here, it looked like he was winning. But the Camel Rider tech switch here, which you should expect to come. If you're going to make Hippias, your opponent is going to make Camel Riders. And all you have to do is prepare hoplites. You don't have to start making them until you see the Camel Riders, but you need to be preparing them. And what does that mean? Make military academies. Just make a couple of military academies in your main base here, maybe 2, 3. And if you get a couple of those hoplites out, fantastic. And then you just have to take a really, really good fight, and you're going to be able to be in a good position here. But Eric just could not manage to make it happen, and Vortix gets the dub. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next game.